that Apple's working on is a new car.
I could get one as long as it didn't have Siri in it, because I wouldn't trust Siri to take me anywhere.
I think if they can get around the creepiness factor that a lot of people seem to feel about head-worn cameras.
I know it was.
I know it was.
That dang droid.
Had Google written all over it.
It sounds like crap. It's horrible.
Just keep grinding away at it.
Okay, what else can you do?
Oh my goodness. Good Lord.
Groups are where it's at.
Makes me cold just thinking about it.
Drop a beacon.
What is it called?
1/16th per click.
Per click.
Half inch per bump.
I like it.
Serena usually on holidays shuts down the southwest wing.
Completely.
The whole southwest wing? Really? Do you roll up the rugs and bar the doors?
Double door.
That's when it gets redecorated.
Right on. That's when they do the spring cleaning.
Call in the crew.
Call in the crew.
All right. Live from the Blind Abilities studio, we're Tech Abilities. And I'm Jeff Thompson from Minnesota. We're going through a little blizzard right now. How are you doing out there, Serena?
I am doing great. It's pretty chilly here too, but yesterday it was like 60, so go figure.
We dropped from about 45 down to about 6 in hours. So it was surprising. How you doing, Rocky?
I'm great, Jeff. I'm shivering over here hearing those temperatures you have, though. Makes me cold just thinking about it. It's in the upper 40s, though, so it's California. Everybody thinks you can always grow a palm tree here, but we get down to freezing temperatures at night, and it gets up into the 50s in the daytime. So it's not as warm as they want to make it out to believe.
Yeah. Well, topping out the temperatures, we got Angie down there in Florida on a vacation, staying for about a month or so. How's you doing? How are you doing, Angie?
It's fine. It's awesome. I love it here. I'm hanging out outside, and it's really kind of comfortable, actually. I have a blanket and hot chocolate, so it's all Christmassy and hanging out with the family for a month.
And I hear you're in the Florida room.
Yes, I am.
Serena's in the south wing.
You guys are jealous. It's okay.
It's all
Little
right.
jelly.
Yeah.
I'm facing east, even as we speak. Sitting in the easternmost part of my house facing east.
You're waiting for that sun to come up and warm you up, right?
I'm waiting. It's cold.
Fitness Plus rolled out a little bit. There's been some positives and some negatives and some new experiences with it. Angie, I know you've been trying it with your rowing machine. How's it going for you?
If I didn't know how to row, I would be a little lost, I think. The descriptions aren't that good. They're okay, but they're not great. I'm disappointed in that, actually. I was going to try some of the core workouts as well, and I'm running into the same thing there. And I also tried working with, what was it? Darcy says hi, everybody. That's Darcy.
Is she a rower?
Darcy.
She's a rower, yeah. Yeah. She'll be 2 in April. She's super cute. And it's baby sleeping time. I think she's getting sleep. I was going to try some of the fitness yoga. Same thing. I'm really kind of disappointed in how the descriptions are, positioning is a big deal with yoga. With all of it, really, but unfortunate.
Yeah, I was going to sneak in a workout before we got on here to do the podcast, and I found out the hard way that I had to turn off my cellular on my watch to get it to pair up with my phone for the workout for Fitness Plus. So by the time I got it done, it was like, oh, time to get on with the show. So neat little hurdle that I didn't know about. So I'm going to be giving it a try. I want to see if it's a little more accurate, because when I do a workout and I just punch in that I'm going to do a treadmill, it doesn't really know how fast you're going, if you increase the incline or the speed. It just uses some random factors like your heart rate and the time that you're doing it and gives you some numbers, the metrics that you get. I don't think they're that accurate, because on my machine, if I use Ira, I can get the information and the machine knows that you've been going so fast. So raising the incline and everything like that. So it calculates it a little bit better, I think. So I was wondering if the Fitness Plus takes into the account that you're following that workout, that if it would come up with better metrics.
I did a row. I actually did one of the rowing workouts. For me, because we're going to be working with Concept 2 equipment and working with the PM5, I know that it does interface with health, but I'm wondering how much that interfaces with that part of fitness. Like, I actually did the burn bar thing, and I came up toward the high middle for my first rowing workout with everybody, and these were like the coach and everybody else who has done that workout. So I just wonder, I wonder about a lot of these things, how the matrix factor in and how accurate they are.
Yeah. Another thing that Apple's working on is a new car. I heard that in 2024, a new electric car, and it's going to be autonomous at that. Now, this is nothing new. Serena, you mentioned that you've heard this before.
I feel like they've been working on it forever. It'd be awesome if they could get one as long as it didn't have Siri in it, because I wouldn't trust Siri to take me anywhere. But I mean, there's so many hurdles to jump over in regards to like licensing and things, because technically, even for an autonomous car, you have to be a licensed driver to operate it. So it's going to take like literally an act of Congress to make it accessible for us. And I'm sure it's Apple, so that car will be a minimum 6 figures, like $100,000 easy. But I'm glad that something's coming out. Maybe that'll have some competition and it'll turn into some affordability where it's in your everyday car.
I think it's ironic that this is a thing, like this is a rumor. And then there's that thing about Tesla and Tim Cook. Like, I guess there was an attempt for Apple and Tesla to be a thing. I'm kind of going,
They're probably like competing against each other now. There's probably some weird bet that they have to who's going to bring it to market first. And that all this animosity, like, you know that they probably, the egos on both of them is like huge. So you know they're probably competing.
Tim Cook will probably be number 3 on the order list.
Not to be confused with Tim Jobs.
Or Steve.
His brother Steve, right?
That's right. I've heard that. I heard that before. Over the last couple of years, it doesn't seem like LiDAR was a big word being tossed around, but now we hear it all the time. And right away, in this article, in the top paragraph, there it was. LiDAR is going to be used in multiple LiDAR sensors. Seems like today, LiDAR is the word of the day.
Well, it's funny because it's not new. Like, LiDAR's been around for a really long time, and it makes sense that they would be using LiDAR sensors on the vehicles as opposed to what we initially thought probably a few years ago, because I thought they'd be using like GPS coordinates and some spatial things and cameras and things like that, but
Sonar.
LiDAR's like way more accurate probably.
Yeah, airplanes used to use it to map out jungles. It would, give you topographic type of things, like height and everything. Very accurate. They used to map out basically the world with that type of technology. And then just lately, ever since started hearing it with good maps, and then here comes Apple putting it right in the phone, and just now SeeingAI came out with the New World channel, and I did a demo on that, and it's really cool. It's another feature for the iPhone 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max. You can use a LiDAR, and like you said, Serena, the spatial sounds. I walked from my bedroom through the doorway, it found the microwave and walked right up to it, and all the vibrations in it and calling out the microwave to the right of me. It was really cool. And when I passed the chair, the vibrations came through the headphones on my right side. And if I kept moving the phone and following my phone, where the vibration wasn't happening, it was like, that's your path. I thought it'd be hard to navigate, or explore, I should say, but it was pretty cool. I just can't imagine, well, I'd like to imagine, but where this will be in a year from now, 2 years from now.
I had so much fun playing with that earlier today. It even identified my dog.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it's funny because it's just so weird having the phone vibrate that much in your hand when you're walking around. You feel like it's going to like jump out of your hand.
It's a good vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Sunu band on steroids. It really goes. It's great. It's a really good indicator. I mean, you could have it in a case or an armband or anything and feel it. It's pretty good haptic.
And Rocky, you're a new member of the iPhone 12 Pro Club.
Yeah, mine came early. It came a week early. I was so excited. So it was a nice surprise. And I've been having a lot of fun playing with LiDAR also. And I'm really astounded. I've been playing with image recognition for a while, but it's come such a long way. And this, I didn't have to really do anything to it. I popped open magnifier and I had the viewfinder up and I was playing with people detection and stuff, but I happened to spin around and the viewfinder was there and it saw my husband shaving and said, a person standing in front of a mirror holding a brush. And then I turned around and it said a TV on a stand, and I turned to the counter and it said a white counter with a beverage. It wasn't a hot beverage. It was a hot cup of coffee, but it said a counter with a person standing in front of the counter with a beverage. And it just picked up weird things in my house, in my kitchen, just from walking around. And that's just native iOS, so I think we're going to see some leaps and bounds in this space. And I'm just impressed. It did keep telling me, slow down. So I think I was moving and turning too quickly.
Yeah, you get so excited. It's like, oh, it found that. What about this? Or what else is here? What else can it see?
Will it see this? So I'd aim the camera. So I think about driving my Apple car, and if you tell me to slow down on the freeway, Jack, I'm not going to do it. It's amazing. It's impressive. impressive, the things that it can recognize, even without a lot of training or a lot of prodding and attempt to massage the right response out of it.
And that's the cool thing about the SeeingAI thing. You can actually add beacons to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, you can mark a beacon. I did that to my keyboard in my room.
Take you right to it.
The sound was coming in my left ear, so I started turning. Then it went stereo. Then I went the other way and it came out of my right ear. So I went back. I went closer to it, got louder, and then all of a sudden goes boing, like
So
ta-da.
imagine finding your seat in a crowded restaurant if we ever go back and enter crowded restaurants again or theaters. Imagine getting
Good
up
memory.
and leaving your seat.
Oh yeah, drop a beacon.
This is going to be really cool for things like if I get one of those random seats in really funky places in the dining room.
Yeah, that's small though. You won't need it in there. You won't need it. But in a big venue where you've got
Auditoriums.
a lot of seating or a theater or something, what a cool way to find your way back to your seat.
Or in the exhibit hall to find a booth again. I want to come back here. Drop a beacon, and there you go. I did the demo from my chair and I just did a 360. And when I played back spatial summary, it actually named all the stuff. And as I was sitting still, it went in a spiral around my head in the sound.
Spatial summary.
Door, bottle, screen, cell phone, keyboard, window, bottle, window, book.
If you're wearing headphones, you can almost tell that I spun around in my chair by just that sound. That's kind of cool. My keyboard was to my left. The window was in the front of me. The door was on the right.
Positional.
And it found my bottle of Perel over there. And I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's a thing. It sees weird things like bottles and cans and jars on surfaces that you're not even really expecting it to pick up. It floored me when it saw my coffee. I didn't expect that.
This is out of the box right now. Where's this going to go? Especially when you get like ITT or whatever that group is out in Boston, Is that ITT?
MIT.
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 Yeah.
MIT.
That's why I never made it there. I couldn't spell it right. But MIT, once they get a hold of stuff like this, a group of them did the Super Sense and they came out with Super LiDAR. Well, they didn't actually drop it. They said they're the first, but it looks like Microsoft beat them to it, SeeingAI. That's the first app.
It's a hell of a start.
It's like they added another little spoon or a fork to that Swiss Army knife that they got going on in the SeeingAI. It's like, wow, what next? It just lit up. The intuitiveness of it was awesome. I just started working with it and boom, it was cool. Good for SeeingAI. So Serena, you gave it a shot, right?
I did. During my lunch break today, I just kind of walked around my house to see, because I really wanted to see how close you have to get to an object before it's like, hey, there's something in front of you. I wanted to see if it got stronger, if you were like right on it. And I didn't notice much difference with the strength of the vibration from, I'd say, about 5 feet on. I'm not sure if you encountered the same thing when you guys tested out it, but I was impressed with how quickly, as you just turned around, like it was like window, microwave, dog, sofa. Like you could really like imagine traveling again and going to your hotel room and you're like, where the hell is everything? Sorry, where the heck is everything? He's gonna leave that in there. I know he is. But imagine you could just bring your phone in and just kind of do a 360 just like Jeff did in his office and have a pretty good sense of, okay, there's a door over here. That's probably the bathroom. Here's the bed. Here's the table. Here's the desk. Here's the chair. So you're not just stumbling and frankly touching everything to figure out where everything is.
And when you play back the spatial summary, if you're sitting there, it'll play it in a circle around you. So like if it says cell phone and it comes out of your right ear, you just turn your head automatically. Oh, it's over there. Kind of cool.
When we talked to Super Sense and Envision, one of the things I said was, yeah, it's cool that it can find a door, but it would be really awesome if it could tell you in which direction that door is as far as where you're standing, whether it's in front of you or beside you or
to your left or to your right,
that's important.
Yeah.
And here we go.
When I was talking to Shane Lowe from Super LiDAR, it was really neat that they just got this started and they're moving in this direction. And all of a sudden, here we come out with SeeingAI, putting the new world
totally nailed it.
channel on there. It's like, it's going to keep moving in this direction. I mean, ever since iOS 14 came out, when all of a sudden they, took the voiceover to steroid levels with all the recognitions of everything, text recognition, all that stuff that's been happening. And now the LiDAR adding to this, it seems like it's just compiling and moving in a direction that, hey, the future's looking brighter.
There's that rumor and I probably shouldn't go here. Maybe this is another thing.
Well,
But
wait,
there's
you
that-
heard it
always
first
that talk
on
of-
Tech Abilities.
You heard it first, right? There's that rumor of Apple producing glasses. They're working on a pair of glasses as well. And of course, it's all rumored at this point. There's a lot of conjecture. People say, yeah, it's coming. We know what's happening. We know it's here. But
And so is air power.
so are those AirTags, that
I
I
want
swear we're
AirTags.
going to be here. I do too. I am hoping that we will see them. But it's the principle, all they need to do is get this thing head mounted and looking a little more aesthetically like a pair of glasses and less like a camera. I think if they can get around the creepiness factor that a lot of people seem to feel about head-worn cameras, I think we're on the cusp of this really amazing use of this technology it's here already. We're just implementing it in a way that's so advantageous for us.
And then they could build the AR thing into your AirPod Max.
Yeah.
Well, you know how you see these doctors, well, we don't see the doctors, but they wear their face shields, which is kind of getting to be normal nowadays. A mask, face shield.
I know people that wear face shields and masks together. I know people here that do it daily when they go out.
Just like going back to the Apple car, that windshield's going to cost about 10 grand. I bet.
More than that.
Don't crack that screen.
No.
Right?
They need a little bit more than ceramic.
That's Gorilla Glass. It won't crack.
How much does Apple care for that again?
Yeah, right.
You'd be so mad when you're on the highway and like a truck kicks back a rock. Oh man.
Rock flu.
Like, you talk about some road rage. I'd be
Siri, chase after that truck.
It looks like something's getting lost in translation. Sorry about that.
Siri, chase after that truck.
Okay, I found this on the web for a Paducah cup of teacup of potato pie. Check it out.
That was a Google rock. I know it was.
I know it was.
That dang droid.
Had Google written all over it.
Well, if you were interested in the AirPod Max, they're like out to March. I hear March and all that, but now I'm hearing February. And if you get some engraving, like Angie, you mentioned before, they say it's shorter, but it all depends on what color you're getting.
I tried the engraving trick though, and it actually pushed it out a week further when I tried it on the different colors. Because I was like, I'll just try it. If it gets it sooner, I'll put a little heart or something on it, whatever. But it pushed it out a whole week.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You see how that changes like from one day to the next with regard to delivery times, and now they're just crazy.
Yeah, for here it was the colors. Depending on what color you chose, it was all about the color. And there were a few left by the end of December when I first started looking, and by the time I went back to seriously think about, okay, I could do this, the delivery was March. And
I looked at it and the engraving, it stayed the same, so I put BA on it. Yeah.
I did not get engraving.
you didn't put JT?
No, I put BA.
Bah. Now people are going to think you're a lamb.
No, I put blind abilities on it.
the blind abilities headset.
I was seeing if I could get out of the too many characters and all that. It accepted it, so I don't know. But anyways, that's a long ways out. And is that too far out, or are we accepting all this stuff because of the COVID?
I think it's related to COVID. I really do. Because like earlier we were chatting offline and there's other products that are massively sold out. And we're like, good Lord, like things that you wouldn't, that aren't high demand items. And it's all like, even when I ordered the AirPod Maxes, I ordered the cord to go with it for if I want to use them with my PC. And even that said it wouldn't deliver until January 8th. And we ordered that over the weekend.
Did that cost $30, Serena?
Yeah, the Lightning
Was that a $30?
did,
Oh my
3.5.
God. I was kidding.
I still got it because I just want the versatility.
Yeah, no, I would have bought it too, but my thought was, oh, she's going to say no, it was only $19.99.
No, I think it was $35.
It was $35.
It's 35.
God.
Yeah.
But even something that simple got pushed way out.
And it's really short.
It's just
apparently.
a 3-foot cord, right?
It's a short cable.
Goodness.
I don't know. It was in meters, and I don't know.
How many
It said,
meters?
Yeah.
2 meters or 1 meter?
I think it said 2
How many?
meters.
Oh, so that's 6 feet.
2 meters?
That's 6 feet.
Yeah,
Don't you have any
short.
help around the house there,
Yeah,
Serena?
it's
I mean,
not too
the
bad.
estate there that could help you with that math?
I just didn't care.
Where's Trey when you need him?
Where's
For
Alexa
real.
when you need her?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's COVID related. I really do. I think that the manufacturing is down and some of the shipping delays, and yeah, it
You
is
think
what
the
it is.
shipping is COVID related, or you think the purchases are?
All of it.
I'm curious.
Well, it's kind of everything, because more people are ordering stuff online than ever before. So that's going to have some impact on the shipping abilities. And then they're manufacturing them, and there's less people that can be in the plant to like manufacture them. And it all just trickles down. And that's probably why the supplies are so limited
No
on things.
one
Because I don't think
hide from
$550
COVID.
headphones are a high demand item. I just don't see that being something that sells out in a matter of hours if they had sufficient supply.
It's not the headphones, it's the brand.
Yeah.
It's not the headphones that's selling. It's because Apple makes them. And I'm not trying to play devil's advocate, but I tend to feel a little differently about the wearables market. I think COVID is driving us forward faster, but I think I can't help but wonder if this isn't really advantageous to the company's great big marketing plan, and how we're being pushed into using wearables for everyday technology. I've been doing this for almost a decade, so I know this is the way the world is going, and I see every year we're going more and more toward having things in our ears and in front of our eyes and being connected all the time.
That's why we have you on the podcast.
I'm a firm believer especially in the wearables and how they are effective, and because they've been advantageous for me since 2010. I've had Bluetooth headsets in my ears, crappy ones, and they've just gotten better and better. But I think this is speeding up the process, certainly us all being at home and grounded and COVID and everything. But I think humans are changing. And I think whether we like it or not, we're becoming a far more connected society. And these tools are becoming intimate and personal. And I think people, without realizing it, are really identifying with that, watches and headphones. And I see it more and more every year.
Yeah, I see myself getting deeper and deeper into the orchard. I mean, there's no way around it.
Yeah.
There's no way to hide from it anymore. I mean, it's not an audiophilist's dream to have these things. This is a different experience of taking in music. No.
That's not why you buy them, though. You buy them for access. You don't buy them because, I want to listen to, you want to listen to great music, of course, but I don't think AirPods Pro are the greatest sounding headphones in the world, but they sure are the most efficient for all the things I'm trying to do simultaneously. And if that means I happen to turn on noise cancellation and bump up some great sounding music while I'm in the middle of something, and all I have to do is push a button to have transparency back and talk to the guy next to me, or, hear my way across the street, or be able to access some of these great things from my cell phone or navigate, what kind of an experience is that,
And in 2024, you can drive your brand new Apple car.
with
With your AirPods Max
Apple
on.
glasses and my AirPods Max. I'm like, good Lord.
See, and that's the true thing that I think differentiate, at least in the blindness community, is that transparency mode. I think that's the true game changer. Because I didn't used to like noise canceling headphones because I felt like I couldn't walk around the house with them. Like, even in the house, like you use a lot of music to know where you're at.
Gremlins.
You're so funny. But with the transparency mode, it's like, you can't have the music like blaring because you still won't be able to hear the transparency coming in. But I can listen to a book and walk around with the headphones on and feel like I'm not going to trip over something. And, that's the game changer for me, which is why I love the AirPods Pro, and I'm sure I'll love the Maxes. My only concern about them is, and everyone's saying that they're comfortable, but they are very heavy. They're almost a pound. They're like 13 ounces
they're only
or
like
something like that.
4 ounces heavier than the heaviest other ones. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's why they put so much talk into the canopy.
To alleviate that.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's Apple
and
products.
The memory foam.
They're pretty dang good.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a purist in a sense. I got the Bowers Wilkins, and they make high quality sound drivers and all that stuff. I got the Grottos. They make great stuff. So this will be a different experience. But I think on an everyday life, I love the transparency mode. I really do, because you can hear so much more that you never paid attention to. It was like when you finally realized all the sounds when I first went blind, when I had to listen to more sounds, it was like, wow, there's a lot of sounds with information. And now with the transparency mode, it's like bringing another layer in. It's kind of cool.
I had a 4-hour flight here, so my AirPods Pro were my best friend for that whole trip. Really, really helps when you're on a plane.
I'm so scared to wear my AirPods Pro on a plane because I tend to lay my head to the side, and I'm so scared that I'm gonna move and lose one.
Me too. Yeah, they won't fall out.
Oh no, mine do fall out of my ears when I fall asleep though. Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, mine never do. I sleep with them.
Duct tape.
I used to be afraid I'd wake up with the regular AirPods and, I'd be like, oh crap, they're way at the bottom of the bed, or they're all tied up in my blankets. How am I going to but these don't fall out of my ears.
Gorilla tape, Serena. Gorilla tape.
They'll never come back off. They'll never get recharged.
No.
Right?
By the way, guys, the meter or the cable is 1.2 meters. So there's your length.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's about 48, 4 feet.
But 1.2.
4
Oh,
feet.
1.5, 1.2.
Okay,
So
I was
it's
like,
4 feet.
1.2 is
4
not
feet.
1.5.
4
feet.
They have a short cable. I wonder if it's a coil cord.
No, it's not like
the
a
old
braided
school.
or anything like that. It's just the regular cord.
Just a regular cable.
I would like to use those if I could use them during editing or production, hook up to my mixer with the cable, then you don't have any latency. So you could do some editing with them and have transparency. So I could tell if someone really wants my attention or something in the house. But by having that cable, but with that short of cord, I know I'd break it because I'd sometimes turn in my chair and all of a sudden, thunk.
Yep.
There it goes.
Rips it right out of the... And I bet the cable's proprietary.
If you've ever
'cause
had
it's a lightning
headphones ripped off your head, it's like, whoa.
Well, and the thing that's weird, because when you're not like my work computer is obviously PC, and I do prefer PC. So I tried to put my AirPods Pro on it, which they sort of work with it. But then when you go to get on a Zoom call, you have to change to the crappiest audio for your mic to work. It's horrible. Like you have to change to headset mode, and it sounds so bad. So I'm wondering if I'm probably gonna have the same problem with the AirPod Maxes when I get them. I'm guessing because it's gonna be the same protocol, but.
You should test them with us. Like, let us hear what they sound like on blind abilities. If it'll let you.
If it even lets me, because
That's
it's
true.
with Bluetooth, there's, I guess, I did a lot of research on it this week. With Bluetooth, there's minimal room for the digital sound to be transported. So you can have it on headphone mode and it sounds great. It sounds just fine. But then when you need to be on a video call and need
The
to
mic
use
is
the
where it
mic,
breaks down.
it doesn't allow the mic to come through.
No, it's bad.
You have to change it to headset mode, which is phone quality. So it sounds like crap, especially with the screen reader talking through it. It's horrible.
Well, that's not really Apple's fault, though. That's Zoom's fault, right?
No, it's a Bluetooth thing, generally. It's just a thing with Bluetooth.
Have you ever known Bluetooth to play nicely with Windows? Really? Ever?
Nope, never.
Have you ever known? Maybe you've had better experiences than I have, because I think I stepped away from Windows sooner.
No, it always drops stuff.
I never had good luck with it. I found that it plays as nicely as the mobile devices do for me, anyway.
It does work better with JAWS now, because JAWS has a setting where it tricks it into not
Keeping it
turning
open
on.
so it doesn't clip.
Yeah.
Keeping the sound.
Yeah, so it doesn't clip anymore with Bluetooth, but if you want to use the microphone with it, that audio quality is very noticeable. So it'll be interesting to see on the AirPods Max if that happens, because maybe it'll sound so great that the audio drop won't sound as bad. I don't know. I would love a wireless headset. I really would like something wireless, so I can just, even on a Zoom call, I could just get
Move
up
around.
to go
Yeah.
grab something.
And if any of the listeners have some great ideas for some Bluetooth wireless headsets that work great on Zoom that you've experienced, give us a call at 612-367-6093. We love to hear from you. You know, there's another article. Angie sent me this one, and it's, you know how when you log into your Mac, if you've ever had a Mac, you can, you know, which user's using it, you or some guest. Well, now they want to, or they applied for a patent, and it seems like it's getting pretty detailed. They've done this before, but now it seems like they're serious. I think the first one was 2013. Now they just recognize the patent that they did where they want to do it to iOS so you can have multiple users. Now, I thought about that, and I was thinking, okay, maybe on the family iPad or something, you know, where you can share stuff like that. What do you guys think about that?
No phone share here. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I would never share
Never
a phone.
share a phone.
It's too personal.
I
Yep,
like it for
exactly.
work because it's profiles. So I think I would be inclined to use it and
would
create
be
separate
cool.
profiles, because I use iOS a lot and do a lot of things for my job directly from my mobile device. I run around a lot and it's just more convenient for me. I do go back to Windows when I really have to, but only when I have to.
But would it still be a phone at that point? I mean, would you get your phone calls?
So yeah, it would just mean that I could switch profiles into a work profile, and hopefully I could
Switch the phone number?
I mean, I'm assuming that it means that you could, well, it's a dual SIM phone for one thing, so.
I would hope they would be that way and not just for like multiple users.
Plus, we use Zoom Phone, or we're migrating to Zoom Phone, so that will follow my regular number, and I don't have to worry so much about that as I do the apps and the data and the mail and the things that I want to keep separate. Maybe a separate user profile. I don't know how separate it really is, but I mean, it would be kind of nice to have a profile that's just for work, and I don't know, maybe
Yeah, I agree with that, Raji. That's a good point.
I could see a classroom setting, like a class could have 10 of them, and then the next class that comes in could sign in. I could see that purpose for the
I
iOS.
suppose, yeah, if you're sharing devices.
That's kind of how Chromebooks work, isn't it? Chromebooks work that way, don't they? That's how they use Chromebooks.
Because you sign in with your Google
Or
account
Chrome
on a
OS.
Chromebook.
Yeah, nothing
I'm pretty
personal's
sure.
on the Chromebook.
What's a Chromebook?
So you can
Just kidding, just.
Oh, stop
Chromebook.
it. But I could see on a cell phone. I was just thinking through it. For if you have a little one, though, it would be nice for them to have their own profile on your cell phone, so they can't just send random pictures to people and call people.
yeah.
Like you could set it where it's super locked down.
Buy a bunch of in-app purchase stuff.
Take my phone and don't lose it.
Yeah. Well, even if they're just sitting right beside you, all they have access to is
Their
maybe
stuff.
whatever app you want them to have access to.
Well, yeah, it makes really good sense for them to have their own profile, because if your kid just wants to use your phone for a second, you don't want them to go on Amazon and whoa.
Or I might put a profile on my mom's phone. The other thing is,
There you
I'm
go.
sort of the tech support for my family, and they're not very tech savvy. And so when we do things, I have to go back there usually and set them up. But then when things break, we have to troubleshoot from 2,000 miles away. So I could really see, now I've got my mom migrated over to iOS, thankfully. And so it's much safer for her. And she can't do too many dangerous,
Your mom's in this blizzard too.
other than click the buy button. Yeah, she is. She is. But it's nice to know that there's always going to be access in case she were to change a password or something and I needed to get in or help her, or she got locked out of something. I might like it for that.
Oh, yeah. Could go a long ways.
For resetting and recovering devices.
Isn't it weird? They come out with a device or new feature and we bring it to the edge, to the limit, and then we start pushing the envelope a little bit. No matter what comes out. When Super LiDAR or Super Sense or Envision AI, and now we're talking about the New World channel on Seeing AI, we're already pushing it to tomorrow, We're happy for 10 minutes, and then we just keep grinding away at it and
Okay,
push
what else
it.
can you do?
Yeah.
We're just innovators.
We are.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think that's a bad thing, actually. I think companies would appreciate the proverbial idea guy. I think that's how suggestions get started, and that's how conversations get started and ideas get generated. And
It's like, I see you've done this amazing thing and I raise you this one. Let's see what else this can do. It's about possibility.
yeah, or maybe even just suggesting use cases for people to give them incentive to try something they wouldn't have tried before.
Another thing that I'm really excited about, and I noticed this today because all of a sudden I said, hey, A lady, play a song. And they said, you can't play this, but here's a PlayStation that has, based off that. I said, wait a second, I have Apple Music on there. So I had to go into my phone, the app, and I knocked out Apple Music, and then I brought it back in and it works again.
It does that all the freaking time. I don't know what
That's
is wrong
messed
with it. It's so annoying.
If Jeff and Tim could get together,
It's on Google though now.
yeah, and that's what I was going to say is I like it because even though I have more platforms here, like the Google, and then I have the Amazon,
But not the
You need a
HomePod.
HomePod.
You're missing out.
rub it in.
Doesn't play his Apple Music on his HomePod. What's up with...
Next podcast.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll just wait.
Okay, I stand corrected, excluding the HomePod. But on my Apple devices, my Google and Amazon devices, right across the board, I can play the Apple Music. I like that.
It does have a delay on the Google devices, though, when you ask it to play a song. Like, it'll be like, okay, playing this. And there is a noticeable delay between when it says it's going to do it and when it actually starts playing the song.
Do you think back at the office, they're going, should we? Should we?
Give him time to hit the record button. Give him time.
No, I think that it's Apple intentionally making it, I think that it's Apple's fault that it keeps bumping itself off of the Amazon devices. And I think it's Apple's fault that there's that latency because they want you to use their native devices. I really do. Why would you make it work just as good on other people's devices?
As soon as I reestablish with my Amazon device that I wanted Apple Music, I get an email from Apple and says, the best way to listen to Apple Music on your Google device.
I stir your jeez.
See?
Yeah, you can't get away from that. And it's just like some apps like SuperSense. If you make a change on your app, all of a sudden you get a notice, you get an email. Angie pointed that out to me and I was like, yeah, you're right. They really have you locked in because you log in with your email address and boom, they got you. That customer service.
Right.
You uninstalled our app today at 3:43 and 15 seconds. Why did you do that? It's like, okay, guys, that's a little much.
Did somebody send that to you? Did you receive a message like that said you uninstalled our app? That would be incredibly invasive. I was going to say that's a little bit over the top.
I did get a message like that. It wasn't that exact thing, but it was, we see that you haven't been using our app in a while. Are you happy with it? And I'm just kind of like, oh.
That would get me clicking the unsubscribe link faster than anything.
It did, actually. It's really invasive, and as a test user, it wouldn't make me inclined to buy products from companies like that.
It's nice to get some feedback sometimes, but when it becomes a little invasive or I got a feeling somebody everybody's watching me. You know, it's like, And that seems to be the big battle between Facebook and Apple right now. Who's the bad guy? Who's the good guy? And it's like, Facebook, better watch how you're taking out those full page ads because it seems hypocritical sometimes. Just a little bit.
Facebook is not really handling this well. And it's because they're going to lose, like, I don't fully understand it, but they claim that they're going to lose a lot of advertising revenue and things like that. But it's like
60%.
Well, Apple's like, it's a privacy issue. Like, it's not like it is problematic that when I'm sitting at dinner and talking to my husband about like, hey, I'd like to research, I don't know, this thing for our basement or whatever. And then 10 minutes later, there's ads on my Facebook. Like, that's not cool.
You know, you're not the first person I've heard say that.
It happens all the time.
Does it happen to you? I've heard other people say
all the
that.
time.
You know, when I'm discussing something around my phone, and I've heard that for the longest time, and I've always thought, oh, it's a lot of bunk. And the other day I was singing this stupid song. I don't know why it was in my head. I haven't heard the song in 10 years. And would you know, it came up when I was listening to music. It came up in the rotation, and I shouldn't be surprised. It's in my library. There's nothing surprising about it, but I kind of went, ooh, that's creepy. I mean, it was creepy. It was just like, did you read my mind or what? That was creepy. It hadn't been 4 hours and it was playing that song. So I have to wonder if there's merit to that.
In the movie Poltergeist, they're here.
Yeah, like that. It was just weird.
I think the way around the Facebook piece of things is, and this is probably, it's probably just that I Google a lot of things that we're thinking of. And then what happens is, especially if you're using Gmail, if you use the same email address, you know, with your Gmail, with your Facebook, it's all linking back. Like Google, like you Google it and then Facebook knows that. And then because it's all based on your email address and those analytics behind there.
Yeah. I'm not paranoid enough to think they're actually listening to me, but it is a little disconcerting when you hear all these paranoid people with these conjecture, you know, kind of this conspiracy thing, like the mic's always active and you know it's not. But something like that happens and you kind of go, ooh.
Or the people that cover their webcam with the Post-its.
With the tape or whatever. Yeah.
I think this is accurate because I remember reading something that Google actually pays Apple $11 billion a year to keep their browser as a default search engine.
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I've always thought it was a
true?
little weird that
I've
Google
heard that
was their
too.
default, seeing as how it's like Android, iOS. I mean, that's valuable because it's tracing.
Yeah, no, they pay for that. They pay for that.
Here's the thing that Facebook is complaining because Apple says we should give people a choice if they want people to track. And they make it right up front. Do you want them to track you? And you can opt out of it. And they're just saying they're giving you a choice. Well, Facebook, who charges small companies, they say they're protecting the small company, but they charge small companies. They'll send it out to 10%. But if you want to send it out to more people, like how many people you want to be sent out, if you want it sent out to 30,000 reach, if you want to reach 30,000.
Or all of your followers that actually like yours. It's so frustrating.
So everybody would see it.
Or if you want to reach 3,000, 3 million, whatever, then you got to pay for it.
And it's not
You got to
cheap.
pay for it. So are they really helping the small business or are they just saying, wow, small business are going to lose. We can't reach as many people because we won't have that much more information to grab and to market to people. We're going to lose. Not the small businesses, but they're probably thinking that because they do such a good job at it, that it's a good way for them to get onto that bandwagon. And, you know, you got to pay for it, but they do a good job of it. I don't know. It's the toss up, but I don't think it's a bad thing for Apple to say, give us the choice. I like that.
And I frankly think
There's no argument.
No, Facebook is lying to themselves if they think that they're doing
They're
this to protect the
hypocrites.
small. Because if they really cared about the small businesses, then they would let them have their organic reach instead of throttling them. Like if you were to post something right now and you had like 1,000 followers, they're only going to show it to 20 of them. And if those 20 don't interact with it in any way, then nobody else will likely see it. It's super frustrating. It's a weird algorithm that is definitely geared towards making you boost that ad or pay for an ad, all that stuff. Like $10 here, $20 there, you know.
On Facebook, I got a group. You got a group. We all got groups. Everybody's got a group.
Groups are where it's at.
Yeah. The thing is, it seems like you reach a plateau at some point because there's no way to generate more reach without a boost. And it's like, is that their algorithm that keeps you locked down in that zone? Because it seems stagnant in a weird way. Maybe that's what's happening.
And then there's no rhyme or reason to the things that do, like I had a post that, because I have a small page, and normally I'll reach 170 to 200 people with one post. But then every once in a while you have this random one that somehow reached 2,500 people. And you're like, what was different here? You know? And it's just, I don't know.
I did a woodworking video one time and I got 5,000 hits in like 2 days.
And then your next one probably got like 12.
Wow.
It doesn't make sense.
That's so weird.
Well, and it's really frustrating, especially having, Jeff, I'm sure you've experienced this too, having Facebook pages that are specifically geared towards the blind and visually impaired audience. Facebook's algorithm gives a preference to like video or photo content and stuff like that. But it's like, but my audience doesn't like those things. So you have to trick it in a way just to get it so that it appears in people's news feeds. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, and it's really hard when you go in, like if you want to boost something, you go through the categories to check off the...
It's not even accessible.
No, it's not. And the categories do not include any type of special needs or any...
Because they say it's discriminatory.
Avenue. Well, yeah, well...
You got to type in like guide dogs or something. That you have to be tricky with it.
Yeah, but Lori's guide dog never purchases anything or listens to much, maybe Lassie or something.
Those opposable thumbs,
Rin,
like
tin.
the lack of those just keep them from being able to make some purchases there.
Yeah, if they want to be inclusive, they got to give the business person that may have a disability want to reach the people they want. And so I say they're wrong in thinking that they're being protective of something when actually, we would like to market towards a certain sector.
So you have to trick it and use words like accessibility or...
Well, it's weird because the way that you target when you're setting up a boost or an ad is it's based on interests that people say that they have, like either in their profile or based on groups they belong to.
Yep.
And so
Exactly.
it'd be really easy to type in like, visually impaired and blind and really get it in front of the people that you want to, but it no longer lets you do that. When you type in blind, it comes up with like blinds. And then it's not even accessible to see the suggestions. And I haven't done it in a while because they have changed Facebook, but it
Two guys
didn't
named
used to be.
Kurt and Rod.
Yeah, two blind guys. Two blind brothers.
And a lot of it is checkbox, where you just go down, you check the box, but there is no box. We'd be other. I don't see the benefits of really boosting it when you can't actually hit the demographics that you want to boost to.
Exactly.
So it's tough. It's tough all over, folks. It's tough all over.
I will say Facebook finally fixed that Q&A bug that was going on where it would be like, so-and-so asked a question in
that
this
was
group
so
and you
annoying.
couldn't do anything in it.
Everything is a Q&A.
And it would automatically make
group
it a
post.
Q&A.
Yeah, make it a Q&A.
It's fixed now, though.
I like how Twitter, if you want to retweet something, it was so convoluted before. All of a sudden they have a tweet, or do you want to do another tweet? Do you want to do this? I'm glad they went back to just retweet. Just boom. It's just so clean. I don't know if any of you experience any of that.
Yeah.
I knew there was the retweet and they would give you the option to just retweet it or retweet it with a comment, but I never noticed anything else with it.
Quote tweet.
For about a month or two, they went into this thing where you could attach another tweet, add to your tweets and all that.
No, I don't understand that. I skipped right over that.
And it was just
How many
confusing.
tweets can I possibly need to add?
Twitter's another area, I try and use it a lot, and it's really hard when the more followers you have, your timeline is like zoom, zoom, zoom. It's like a freeway going by.
See, I
it's
love
hard
Twitter.
to really...
I love Twitter.
I do too. But if you really want to market or get some news out there, you should probably do it around 7 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock, and then in the afternoon around 3 and 7. You should do 4 tweets.
Depends where your audience is. It all depends where your audience is. A lot of mine are in the UK, so when I get up in the morning, they've been tweeting all night. And if I want something to hit the UK audience, I'll do it at a different time of the day. But it's more about
3 in the morning.
tagging and using appropriate keywords to get the retweets on Twitter. And mostly the community does the work if you can get the diction and the phrasing to where people will pick it up and retweet it.
And if you can quickly do the time between Sydney, Australia and friendly Minnesota, well, you might have yourself a job.
But Facebook's brought back hashtags now too, like actual hashtags that actually work and actually generate conversations around them.
That's such a big deal. I never thought I would love that as much as I do, but I've grown to really love the power of hashtagging.
And yet Apple doesn't accept hashtags anymore. Have you noticed that?
What do you mean?
Like if I put a podcast out and I put hashtags in the description, Apple doesn't look at those. They go by the title and the stuff that's...
Oh, you're talking about the podcast app?
Yeah. Well, not the the podcast app, but when I put in a podcast up and publishing it, when it goes to the Apple system, they don't look at hashtags anymore. They just don't. They look at all the keywords, possible keywords that could be either in your show notes or your title. So they say put them in the title.
Is that to help like catalog it when someone's searching? Is that what you're... Because I know it searches the show notes too, because I've typed in things and it's pulled the stuff up based on the show notes.
Yeah.
Apple's good at that, but they don't go by hashtag anymore. It says that right in my dashboard when I'm doing it. There's an asterisk from Libsyn that says Apple does not use hashtags, blah, 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 blah.
I bet people were abusing it because you can slip hashtags in there like that are somewhat unrelated just to try to get it to trend somewhere. And I bet people were abusing it.
Oh, yeah. I never thought about that like that.
Transparent hashtags.
Ooh. Yeah, there'd be no way to really track it. There'd be no way to crack down on something like that because it just...
Especially if you put all the way at the bottom where nobody even reads to, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it would just come up in the searches, you know, but it'd be such a hard thing to quantify.
If you podcast and you're on the Apple database, that's everything. You have to be in the Apple ecosystem. People are searching for it. So it's nice to know how they use it. So in your title, if you're doing something and you're talking about Apple Car, write Apple Car in that title. Mm-hmm. I like hashtags on Twitter because then you can just type in a hashtag and there's your topic.
I'm glad that people are finding their voices, leveraging their whatever their stories are and their testimonies and the finding of the support. You know, they're using their hashtags and their search terms and their social media in a way that's being advantageous to everybody and bringing people's voices together. And I'm glad to see that.
Hashtag Happy New Year 2021. Well, the holidays upon us. We didn't say too much holiday cheer during this whole podcast, but I want to wish everybody a happy holidays and a wonderful new year. Oh, there's a shout out to all the guide dogs out there. Thumbs up. Paws up. Paws up. Serena.
Jeffrey.
You got a very good Facebook group out there. Why don't you say the name of that one?
You always do this to me. I'm like, oh, what is it called?
You came up with the name yourself.
I know. It was because I was trying to optimize it for search engines.
There you go.
It's the assistive technology community for the blind and visually impaired.
There you go. And you can follow the Blind Abilities group on Facebook at Blind Abilities Community Group on Facebook and Blind Abilities on Twitter. And Rocky.
Yeah.
How's the Adaptation Store doing?
Adaptation Store. You can shop the Adaptation Store. In fact, you can shop through the end of the year. So with some new promotions every week, different promotions happening. So check out adaptations.org. You can find me on Twitter at RockyG. I am Rocky@gmail.com if you have questions.
You're one of the last places that still have the click ruler available.
One of the last places? Well, I think there are a few places that have it.
Yeah, that's tough to find.
Are we really one of the only?
How about you're one of the best places to find it at?
Yeah, absolutely. We sell a lot of them. I'm glad to hear that because we sell a bunch of them. So,
oh, it's hard to find. I belong to the Woodworkers for the Blind, ww4b.org. And every once in a while you get the newbies on there or people, and I always direct them to your place. So
to get the click rule.
I mean, I started directing them to your place because now that I know you have them.
Yeah, we even have the 6 and the 12-inch extensions for them. So if you decide to get a click rule for measuring woodworking, what does it go down to? 1/16 of an inch, I think.
1/16 per click.
Per click.
Half inch per bump.
Yeah.
Tactile bump. And it's nice that you have the 6 because every once in a while you get into that predicament like, size matters, you know. Comes with 3/12s. But
oh, Jeff, really?
He likes those extensions.
I got 9 extensions, so I can go up to 10 feet, you know.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so.
You were the one talking about 1/16 of inches. So.
Yeah, and I'm proud of that 1/16 of an inch. Every click counts.
Every click counts. There you go. We also have the tactile caliper, if that's something. Speaking of clicks, and that's really a cool little thing too. The braille is refreshable.
Oh, it's really nice, especially if you're working with a lathe or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the most important things that you can match it up to. A tactile caliper and a click ruler, they're basically templates in a sense. Once you get them set to the accurate amount, you're just using it to check the size and everything like that. Good tools. Good tools. Angie, still in Florida, hanging out?
I'm still here.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. You got till the middle of next year. Well, middle of next month. Next month.
Next month. Next month.
To us, it feels like
Next
a year.
month.
Is your hot chocolate gone?
It's gone. Yep. I finished it all. It was really good, too.
When you're in the Florida room, they don't come and check to see if your hot chocolate needs a bump.
I think most of them have gone to bed by now. I'm not sure who's even still awake. And I haven't heard the baby in a while, so she's finally sleeping.
Watch out for gators.
Watch out for gators.
Yeah, I was in Orlando, and I took the dog for a walk at night, okay? Just so he could relieve and stuff like that. I did the duty. I didn't do the duty. The dog I was doing my part. Anyways, I went down around the volleyball court and all that stuff. The next morning, I was out there, and this guy comes back with a fishing pole. I said, "You catch anything?" He says, "Yeah, I saw a gator down there." I said, "There's what?" I was walking within 10 feet of that area at night.
My God.
I never went out that distance again.
That's crazy. That's the thing about Florida, like the lakes here and just the gators. Like big ass lizards ready to eat you. That's scary. Scary stuff.
Oof. Come on, Blizzard. See, that's how we get rid of the snakes,
right.
lizards,
Make it too
gators.
They're all just frozen.
Yeah.
How much snow do you have, Jeff?
Well, they said we were going to get 3 to 8 and then 6 to 12. And then they said, we don't know because it hooked and it's...
You're like, your guess is
off
good
the
as
charts.
You
mine.
wake up and the door will be frozen shut. You know, you can't see out.
They said we only had 3 inches. I took the garbage out and it was up to my shin. I mean, so there was already 8 inches right on the patio. So it's like...
That's more than 3 inches.
Yeah. And then it's going to be drifting. So you never know. You can get 3 inches here, but you might have 12 inches there, you know? It'll be fun in the morning.
Said no one
Shoveling
ever.
snow.
Well,
God.
You'll have a white Christmas at least.
Oh my God.
yeah.
What is Rocky giggling about? I feel like I'm having these like that I'm not understanding what I'm saying or something.
Oh, you two. And then I start.
It's working.
Is there a
it's
joke
just-
that I'm not getting?
I've been awake for too long.
Well, I think it's latte time.
It's latte time. I'm on vacation.
There we go. I got some French vanilla additive I'm going to put in mine. Just a
A
tinge.
tinge. I feel like that. What is that?
Tinge. There's a new word.
A scotch.
There you
Just
go.
a scotch.
A scotch and a tinge. Is that a new unit of measure that we should add to the click rule? A tinge.
A tiny inch.
Oh, a tiny
tinge,
inch.
there you
I
go.
get it.
That would actually be a lot of
Wait,
French
wait, Angie.
vanilla additive.
Or a tiny pinch. Well, I
A
don't know.
tenth of an inch.
Yeah. Tenth of an inch. There you go. That's it. That's it.
Tenth of an inch. There you. I like it.
Well, I'll let you all know how it comes out.
Lovely.
I want to thank all of you for listening, and to all of you out there, have a wonderful holiday season. Stay well, stay informed, and stay strong. Thanks for listening, and until next time, bye-bye.
Bye. You should have said, "Stay connected."
And then cue our funky music, right?
And for more podcasts with the Blind News Perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities, and give us a call at 612-367-6093. Leave us a message and let us know if we can put your voice on the next podcast. Drop us an email at info@blindabilities.com and download the free Blind Abilities app from the App Store and Google Play Store. That's 2 words, Blind Abilities. And from all of us here at Blind Abilities, through these challenging times, to you, your family, and friends, stay well, stay informed, and stay strong. I want to thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, bye-bye.
When we share
what we see
through each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap between
limited expectations and the realities
of blind abilities.
The realities of blind abilities.
Blind abilities.